my friends and letterers. Thank you for tuning in on the replay. You may still give hearts during the replay if you're here on Periscope app. You can also find me at Catch, where you can read through all the comments from the broadcast. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at CreativLEI if you have questions that you'd like to see answered about the first day of the Love Your Lettering 31-Day Challenge. Good evening! Hello everyone! We have made it to the end of day one. So you'll have to excuse me, I have the fisheye lens on so that you can actually see what I'm doing. And of course, now that I'm looking over my shoulder, you can see more of my mess. Hang in there with me. It has been a long day for me. I stayed up way too late last night getting prepped for this. Hi! Thank you for coming on in. So I am very, very tired. So there's been a few times today that I've caught myself kind of nodding off. So I am going to go to bed soon because I am actually traveling tomorrow. So I've got some packing to finish up and get done. And tomorrow's post is set to publish in the morning. And those of you that have subscribed will receive it, I believe, around 9 a.m. For your next challenge. But for tonight, we're going to chat about day one. Hi, Pepper. It's in Germany. Yes, it is set for Eastern time. I live in Maryland. I'm on the eastern seaboard of the United States, so it is set for my time. I'm sorry, but hopefully you're still following along and catching on just fine. So I wanted to pop on and see how you guys did. Did you put together your notebook? I know I caught Pepper's broadcast this afternoon at Unicorn Beauty, and she is working in a binder. She's added a section to her normal planner where she's printed graph paper, and so she was showing everyone how she was putting that together with the washi tape also. So I wanted to make sure I answered any of your questions you guys had about the notebooks. I know I spoke to Donna earlier today. Hey, Donna. She was having a hard time finding the grid notebook, and so hopefully this afternoon she was able to find it at Staples. The one that I'm using is the Tops brand, and I can't for the life of me remember where I purchased it. I know that, yeah, I'm going to show you mine. I know that I stock up usually anytime that I see them on sale because I do prefer the graph notebooks for most of my practicing. So the Tops one I've had for a few years. It was probably Office Depot. You got yours at Office Depot too. I know Staples has them as well. I'm going to flip the camera for a little while and I'll show you some of my notebooks. Okay. So this is the notebook that I'm using for this challenge. It's Tops composition book, and it's the 4x4 quad rule. Okay, excellent. So this is the title page that I've added. I left these first two pages untaped so that I could show you how I washi taped the two together. I did have a video on from when I started putting this notebook together that should be embedded in the post that went up today, but I've left these two done just so that you guys can see. And how many of you have worked on your affirmation page? So I've got a few things written on mine. Some of the things that mine says. It says, my handwriting is part of my legacy. I don't know about any of you, but thank you. I know that I have certain characteristics in my handwriting that I've gotten from my parents. Like, I can see letters in my writing that I recognize as symbols that my parents use in theirs. And so that just makes me want to hold on to my own style of lettering all the more, because it's going to be my lettering that my children look at and compare against theirs or their grandparents, and so that's kind of a neat thing. I wrote, don't quit. Some people are saying, you know, oh, how will I get through the whole month? And yes, this is a challenge for me too, to show up consistently. And so I want you guys to not quit. What is the difference between lettering to calligraphy? Lettering, to me, is just done with a regular pen. Calligraphy is actually done with specialized tools. Although most of the creative lettering would be some sort of calligraphic art. But I do have calligraphy nibs and stuff, but we're not going to use regular dip nibs in this month. We are just going to use markers later on. Yours says 4 squares per inch. Is that standard? I believe it is. Mine is 4 per inch too. Yeah, I've got a 4 per inch, but I have used the 5 per inch before, and I don't notice a great deal of a difference. So whatever you're finding locally, and if you don't find the composition book and you just find a pad of graph paper, that would work too. Some people were asking me if a regular composition book would work. Certainly, if all you could find was a regular composition book, it could be your notebook is your soulmate. Yeah, you have doctor's handwriting. Woo! So then the grid probably helps you. So this is a past lettering notebook for me that was on the lines, but I find that for placement of lettering, I much prefer to have the grid. Even if I'm not working on a line, it still is giving me a guideline to work by, because it's not quite the same when you're working on the lines and you're just kind of skipping between. So yeah, so you could use a composition book if you needed to, but I definitely think the grid, especially as we get later in the month and we talk about a layout mixing letter styles, the grid is helpful to be able to judge your spacing. For those of you that have found the notebooks at Walmart where the notebook cover might be a little bit thinner, I wanted to show you that you can cover it up. This was my Bible study journal. Okay, metric system is 5 per inch. Yeah, so this one is covered with duct tape fabric sheets, and then duct tape fabric tape on the binding. So this was my Bible study journal, which was grid paper also. So I like it because then I can make off little sections without having actual lines on there. So there's that. So that's that type of cover. And then this cover was done with just regular duct tape, the solid duct tape, and then the printed duct tape, and then Sharpie on top. And so this one's another one with duct tape for the cover. And so I think what I will do is I'm probably going to buy either some red or some black and white. Thank you. I'm going to look for some red or some black and white duct tape to go with the washi tape that's on the edge of my book. I used the 2 different washi tapes from Scotch. These 2 came in a kit for me. So they're like poppies and then the stripes. And so I stuck with just those 2 in my notebook. But certainly you can mix it up. I have a few washi tapes. And I'm sure those of you that have started buying washi, you fully realize that washi tape multiplies, because you can't just have one roll. They're just too cute and you can't choose between. So you can certainly do all different colors in your notebook. And I know that Pepper was showing how to make some page tabs using the washi tape. Yeah, thank you. It's been a few years building that collection. I watch the sales at Pick Your Plum and Michael's, and sometimes when Target is clearancing them out. Which brand do I find is the stickiest? I think the Scotch brand is pretty sticky, because I removed it from those top 2 pages that I wanted to leave apart to show you guys. And it is definitely more gummy than some of the lighter paper tapes. The Scotch has a different finish too. I'm not sure if I'd be able to pick it up. Yeah, washi tape, it was funny because putting together my notebook and deciding to only use 1 or 2 patterns meant I went through a whole roll of washi, which I don't know that I've ever done that before. And I definitely went through a moment of panic thinking like, I think I need to replace this one, because if I'm using it, I need to replace it, right? But I didn't replace it because I figure I'm going to probably come across another one and it's going to take its spot in the jar or on the wall holder. So I actually let go of a roll of washi tape. So all of you craft hoarders, you can high-five me for doing that. Scotch is printed Scotch tape, not paper. Not always. There are different types that Scotch puts out. Scotch's washi tape expressions is a paper masking tape. It is not exactly the same as some of the Japanese ones, but it is not Scotch. It's not like the regular gift wrap tape. Thank you for letting go of a roll of washi tape. Yeah, so here's another one from Scotch. You still have the first 9 washi's? Okay. Oh, where did you order from? I know that Pick Your Plum had a few the other day. They had some gold ones and some really pretty ones, but I could not justify buying right now because I need to use up some of the ones that I have. I like the skinny ones too for inside my planner. I think, so we have a lot of planner girls here too, which is awesome because I know that you want to know some more lettering for writing in your planners, and I think that that's great. I use the May Designs months and dots planner, and so I do use a lot of handwriting in my planner. I've been drooling over some of the bullet journals that I watch on Pinterest and on Instagram, and so I'm kind of doing like a hybrid in the May Designs journal that all go in my Foxy Fix Traveler's Notebook. The Traveler's Notebook system is by far my favorite thing. As a lefty, I don't want spiral bound and I don't want rings because they get in my way, but the Traveler's Notebook has been awesome. You have to want it like Etsy, but more common in Germany. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I used Etsy when I was buying my leather Traveler's Notebooks from Foxy Fix. And I have done much damage on Etsy prior for fiber arts. So I usually try and have to stay away because I can go a little crazy there. So let's see. I'm going to put you guys on did everyone knew from the photos tutorial and the video that I shared on today's post how to washi tape their pages together? I'm just going to do one page to show you real quick because I think you probably all have it from the post. You like my henna? Thank you. Tuesday was my daughter's 4th birthday in memorial, and so these patterns were for her. The morning glory is the flower that we use to symbolize her, and then I have a butterfly with her initials. And so we've got hope, and I've got a feather that says breathe, but yeah, that's kind of hard to show. So yes, I love henna. It's definitely just another creative. And my new tripod is on its way to me. I will have it for next week, so hang with me for this weekend. We'll deal with my little tripod here, but I will have a better one next week. I made sure to order it so that I could really broadcast properly for you guys. So, how I did my notebook. And so you see I have composition books all over the place. This one is from Staples, and this is the one, I have two of my children are homeschooling, and so this is the science notebook. And I am journaling along with them, and we're doing it in a composition book. So we have our table of contents, nature study, animal observations, earth science, and experiments. And actually this is a 5 per square grid, and I actually do like the smaller grid. I like it. I don't know if you can see, I work in pencil in this one, so. But yeah, so that's the Staples one. The big difference is that the Tops one is blank on the inside. It doesn't have any of the scholastic stuff. So it's just a small thing. You could totally cover that with scrapbook paper if it bothered you, or duct tape, because duct tape is awesome. Okay, so to washi tape my edges, the way that I did them was I worked on the second page and just kind of spread it out. And Pepper did a great job of showing this on the smaller papers that she's using in the binder. So I would run that, pull that off, and then flip the page back down. So of course, it's going to be real tacky this time. Okay. So then what I do, and this is a very scientific method, I like to pull it smooth from the seam out, and then from the center of the tape I'm just folding it over the page, and pushing it flat, pushing it flush, going from the center up and from the center down. So when I'm working on a whole notebook, I would do all the edges first, like I did in I've done this in a Moleskine journal also to add tip-ins. So I would do all the pages first, and then I go back in with scissors, and the washi tape is transparent enough that you can see where the curve of the paper is. You could always go back with a paper punch, but scissors will work just as fine, and you can round those corners and cut off that excess. So then you'll end up with all the rounded corners instead of the square, because rounded corners just look pretty. So there's that. So, and like I said, I just did that through the whole book, and then I trimmed off all the corners. And in the past, I have glued pages together, but it's more of a fuss than it was worth. I didn't notice that it was giving me that much more protection from bleed through. So just taping the pages together is just as good. And what I like about this is that for some of these pages later on in our month, I'm going to suggest that you tape the bottom, and you can use it as a pocket page to put in some of the clippings that we're going to make for inspiration, things that we might print. If I give you any lists or anything like that, or any other samples, you can use it as pocket pages to store it. So I thought that was kind of a neat bonus for doing it this way. So that is my notebook, and like I said, my affirmation page still has some room on it, because I know during the month I'm going to need to put down some more words for myself. Reminders that practice makes progress. We're not going for perfection, because there's no such thing, I don't think, in art. There's no such thing as perfection, but the more you work at a skill, the more you build it. And that's kind of the beauty of lettering, is that it is part art, but it's part skill, and skills can be built. Any reason that I used floral on some and stripes on the other? I think I just was trying to break it up a little bit. I considered doing the whole thing floral. It's not, I did not count pages, so it's not like a separate section. It just was for visual appeal for me to break it up a little bit. Yeah, there's no secret there. What's my favorite letter? I don't know. I like the ones with the descenders because I like playing with flourishes. How's that for an answer? It's kind of like asking what a favorite color is, because I don't know how to choose a favorite color, because so many of them are so pretty. It's when the kids ask, my children ask me, and I'm always like, oh, I like purple and blue and green. And they're like, that's not one color. I'm like, I don't like just one color. I like a bunch of them. So I just realized that I probably never did a proper introduction, because I kind of got right onto the ball here, trying to get all the information out before I start to crash. So many of you know, because you're new to following me, my name is Lisa. I blog at Looking at Life CreativLEI, which is CreativLEI.com. And this month I am taking part in the Write 31 Days challenge. And my challenge for you all is to learn how to love your lettering. And so we're going to go through 31 days of hand lettering and handwriting tips and tricks and resources and things like that. So today's, your favorite color is clear. Well, that does go with everything. I've got some crazy ducktail hair going on here. So yeah, and I like the O. I like an O also, because I find that I've done a specific O, whether I'm doing print or cursive. I like to do it kind of a swirl. It's like a holdback of the cursive Z. That's nice. My Z's always tend to look the same, I think. No matter whether I'm printing or using script or calligraphy, I always tend to have like the same style. And so you'll see through the month, like there's always like doodle pages on my desk, and they're usually covered in alphabets or phrases and stuff, because it's just how I practice my alphabets. And like I'm still working with the Sakura calligraphy pen because I like the nylon tip, and I'm trying to learn how to use it so that it's not giving me such a scratchy finish. The nylon doesn't seem to be as forgiving as the felt nibs are, so it's not hitting the paper exactly evenly, and so I'm trying to figure out if I need something more cushioned under it or what. But so I'm playing with that. I use my Zig markers. I've even got just regular a gel pen over there. So I mean, that's why I was telling people, like, if you have not shopped the shopping list, please don't let that keep you from joining us in the challenge, because it's absolutely, those are just extras. That was just my attempt to put together kind of a big list of all the different things. Foreign letters are just, I do not use foreign letters. I don't speak right now anything fluently. I was fluent in Italian, but then the more years I didn't use it, the bye-bye I went fluency. Last summer I went with my husband and a small team for our church to Peru, and I was able to understand some of what was spoken, but of course I was not able to speak because I don't speak Spanish, but it's close enough to Italian that there were lots of words that I caught on. But yeah, I'm very out of practice, so I'm not too familiar with. You're from Peru. That is awesome. We flew into Lima. Our missionaries lived there, and then we went to Juliaca to transition to altitude, and then we served in Chupa for a few days, and it was amazing. My husband has been to Peru 3 times prior to that, but his trips were always to the jungle, and I don't think I can handle the jungle. I couldn't handle the bugs, but the mountains were amazing, and hopefully I'll get to go back. So cool. You'll definitely try to catch all these scopes. So this is my goal, Kayo. Ooh, is that in the mountains? Is that in the jungle? So my goal for the month is to put the post up each morning so that you guys have all day to work on that. And then to come onto Periscope at night after my children have gone to bed. I have 6 children at home, so it's a little chaotic here during the day, and you don't want to be part of that craziness. So I'll hop on here at night. I know that Saturday night I will probably not be well, I know I won't be scoping lettering because I'm going to be at my not-so-little brother's wedding. I may hop on there just to show you a crazy New York Italian wedding, because I think that everyone should experience that once. So I will not be scoping lettering on Saturday, but I may hop on just to show you what a good party is. I'm going to try and get on tomorrow night when I get up to my parents' house, because I know some of my sisters will be there, and they're right-handed, so we can show that. And then I will be back home on Sunday, so we'll see. My goal for most of the month, if you've looked at the main page of the challenge, is that our weekends are going to be kind of catch-up time. But of course, this weekend is an exception because we've just started. So there's really not a whole lot to catch up on, especially because these first 3 days that I'll give you lessons are kind of easy and quick to go through. I think it was probably a little time-consuming. You're a lefty too. That's awesome. Because I really wanted to make sure that lefties were getting some attention. You have the Pitt Artist pen set. There's a brush pen in it, but not sure if it's okay. I do have a couple of the Pitt brush pens, and I have used them before. I've used them in my journaling Bible. They are not my favorite brush, but they are beautiful. So yes, I will show you how to use it, but just be aware that there are other ones that that I use to get a little more refined brush lettering. Yay, I'm so glad that there are lefties here, because that was my one thing. I've kind of held off doing instructional stuff for so long because I was thinking, well, I'm left-handed, so unless they're left-handed, it's going to be hard to show them what to do. But then I kind of stepped out of that and like stopped giving myself the pity party and said, you know what? You can still show the tips and tricks, and I know plenty of right-handed people that will help me get on Periscope, and they'll show the perspective from the right-handed and I can do from the left-handed, and I know how to hold my pen in my right hand. It's just not very neat. I can do it on the blackboard though to show you, and so when we get to calligraphy and brushing, brush pen, I can show you that on the blackboard because it's all about pressure and position, and I can show you that with chalk. The challenge info is all up on my blog. blog. My blog is CreativLEI.com. If you swipe and look at my profile, there is a clickable link in there. I would recommend doing it after the broadcast, and I'm going to try and wrap it up soon because I've already taken up far more of your time than I thought I would tonight. So it's all there. It's in the handcrafted category, and I do have a subscription button there. Normally, the sidebar subscription is an email that goes out weekly for my entire blog. But for this 31 Days series, I wanted to not bombard my regular readers with a daily email because I thought that maybe that would make them crazy. So I've set up... I'm not disagreeing about creative lefties. It's not always the case, but it's that case a lot of times. 2 of my sons are left-handed too, and they are very creative. So going back to the subscribing, if you subscribe on the main page of the Love Your Lettering Challenge, that is specifically an email list that I've set up for the handcrafted category of my blog, which is the one that will be updated daily for this challenge. And so each morning, the feed, excerpts from the feed of that section are going out. And so that is that subscription list. The one in the sidebar is just my main blog, and that goes out Friday evenings. If you have gotten any of my printables, that is a separate list. It's not a weekly, it's not even... it's not a regular news feed. It's more like a newsletter, and it's just my way of updating those people that have gotten my digital downloads or printable products, just my chance to let them know when something brand new is coming or a new printable is up, which I am going to be working on because over the weekend you guys have fabulously pushed my numbers in most of my social media platforms to over 1,000, which is big for this girl. And so I am working on a printable for you guys. I wanted to make a lettered printable in color that you guys can hang up like a hanging type thing. So I'm working on that. I'm just trying to pick the quote that I'll use for it. So let's wrap this up. If you have any other questions for me, now would be your 2-minute warning to put them in the chat section. You can always find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at CreativLEI. If you're on Ravelry, which I did find some of you were linking to me from Ravelry, which was awesome. If you are a fiber artist, you know what Ravelry is. If you're not a fiber artist, you need to be. But Ravelry was like the primary social media before I got to... okay, Purple Sheep, which I love your name because I have referred to that to myself as a purple sheep as far as faith goes, which is very interesting. So yeah, I am on Ravelry, and that is the one platform where my name is different, and it's Lee Marie. And Lee, if you've watched my Mom Hop scope from earlier today, Lee is my nickname. It's short for Lisa. Fiber as in alpaca fiber, yes, and sheep fiber, I spin wool and silk and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm a knitter, although it doesn't get quite as much time throughout the year as I would like to give it. I do love that. And now that it's cooler weather, I've been breaking out crochet. Life Made Creations, who is Life Made Create here on Periscope, is hosting a Periscope crochet along of a carnival cushion. And that's been awesome because it's been some good crochet technique for me because I don't know how to really read a crochet pattern very good. Excuse me. So that's been fun also if you're looking for more creative periscopes to follow. Polka Dot Wishes hosts, she's the founder of Mommy Scopes, that's Amy. Okay, for the crochet, it's Life Made Create. It's Michelle at Life Made Create. Her blog is Life Made Creations, which she's on Ravelry as that also. Oh, awesome. Okay, and yeah, my Periscopes, the replay will be available here on Periscope for 24 hours. I do save those. And then I also make use of catch.me/CreativLEI. I think I started using it about a month ago, and so it has caught my scopes since then, which is always helpful to me because then after the scope is over, I can go back there and read through the comments, which is really helpful because sometimes they scroll too fast here on Periscope. So that's a good trick for those of you that might not be too familiar with Periscope yet and trying to keep up with with some of those scrolling comments, Catch will allow you to just read them and scroll through for yourself, which has been awesome because then you can reply to people right through Twitter. So I use Catch, and then from Catch I take the video and embed it into the post that it corresponds with. So that's my goal for this month. That way whoever's not on Periscope is not missing these sections either. But this is a chance for us to get together live. If you have questions from the daily challenge, for me to answer those directly. Certainly we'll be talking about the different pens and different supplies. Like later in the month, after we've gotten lots of practice, I'll talk about different books that I use for more creative lettering, which I don't think I have. My planner might be upstairs. Different notebooks that I use on a daily basis for lettering practice and stuff. I love my composition books, but these are a little bit big for carrying around, so I do keep a smaller notebook in my planner. So that's about it. It's, oh goodness, it's almost 11:15, and I have got to get some sleep because there's going to be some driving tomorrow. So I want to thank you all. Thank you so much for joining me for Love Your Lettering this month. I really am very excited. I'm just so totally stoked and overwhelmed by the response that I've gotten from you all. It's been wonderful, and I'm hoping that I'm meeting your expectations. Absolutely open to feedback throughout the month because I want to make sure that we're gearing it to meet the needs that you have. Because this is, like I said in the post today, this challenge is about getting me to write and share consistently, but the goal of this series is really for you. I want to help you guys out. I know that I share a lot of my lettering and Bible journaling on Instagram and stuff, and so I always get lots of questions and compliments, and people wanting or wishing that they could write or be happy with their handwriting. And so that is the goal of this month, is just to get you comfortable in your own writing. And just learning to love that and get creative with it. I hope you all have a good night. I will see you tomorrow. The blog post is already ready to go. It'll publish in the morning, and I will see you tomorrow night. Thanks a lot.